Good morning. It's Friday, the 13th, 2015 of March, and this is Tech Talk Today, episode 144. My name is Chris.
And I'm Angela.
Hey, Angela. Good morning to you.
Hi.
Hi. How's your selfie? Did it turn out okay?
Yeah.
Good.
I'm thinking another angle, though.
I'm going to bring in the mumble room here quickly because we have a story that I want to cover that is sort of in the spirit of TechSnap, which was pre-recorded this week as Alan's off in Tokyo. So we're going to jump into it to help cover the gap. Time-appropriate credits. Mumble room.
Hello.
Hello, guys.
Hello.
Good morning.
Now, surprise, Adobe Flash has 11 updates, plugs 11 holes. So there's 11 major critical patch, I can't talk this morning. 11 critical holes that are plugged by this new patch. There we go.
Woohoo!
I was trying to say it.
You got it.
So it's out for Windows and Mac users. And of course, if you're on Linux, probably your best option is either Google Chrome or, quit using freaking Flash.
You know, I got a pop-up, like, you need to do an update yesterday, and I was like, God,
you
not
need to
right
do
now.
those. No, you need to do those.
Yeah, if we're covering on the show, it's pretty clear that I need to.
Yeah, they're very important. That's why I'm making sure that we do give them some attention because the last few updates from Adobe have been in response to zero-day threats that were actually just totally unknown vulnerabilities before. Adobe says they're not aware of any exploits in the wild for the currently addressed issues, but it doesn't take long. That's the thing about Adobe.
What does 0 day mean?
0 day means that there's not. So a lot of times there's an exploit that comes out, like the ones that were just patched, and nobody has actually figured out a way out in the universe to take advantage of it. If somebody knows how to take advantage of a vulnerability that they're patching right now, like people are already taking advantage of it, that's called a 0 day, as in it won't take any time before people can take advantage of this. As in if the code's on your machine, they're taking advantage of it today, or they could be.
Right.
So
Okay.
that's a 0 day. And that comes from Krebs on Security, a favorite of the TechSnap program. All right, our next story. This one is, I don't know, I'm curious to see what you guys think, especially maybe I'd like to pick Popey's brain on this, because Ubuntu Touch, it could happen. Microsoft is going to make Cortana, their version of like Google Now and Siri, where you talk to it, and it's supposed to be pretty good. It's supposed to be one of the better ones.
What?
And they're building it into Windows 10 too. Woo, Clippy. Anyways, they're moving it over as a standalone app to Android and iOS devices. Now, if this is, think about this, and I'm going to put this on. I'm going to punt this one over to Popey. If Canonical could go, excuse me, Mr. Nadella. Hi, I'm Eric Shuttleworth here. I'd love to license your Cortana technology and build it into Ubuntu Touch. Do you think that would be something that could happen, Popey? Would that be something where you guys could outsource that component of the operating system? And would Microsoft be feasible?
I don't think we'd rule anything out. I think we're too small to do that. I don't think we'd say we would never work with Microsoft, or we would never work with some other company, or we would never use a particular technology. I think right now we're so small and it's so early that all doors are open. Well,
and especially because it has a pretty good reputation too. It's sort of like Google has all of our Google Voice usage, all our Hangouts. They have so much data to draw from voice recognition, so much data, right? And so when Apple gets in the game, they didn't have really any other choice other than to license Nuance's technology. And sort of like, I believe Canonical is licensing some of the Nokia Now technology for some of the mapping stuff, because it's a sound infrastructure that's available today that, and you know what? They're really good at doing that thing. Like we saw what happened when Apple tried to go out and do their own maps. It's kind of a disaster, even when you're one of the richest companies in the world. And so I think if Microsoft were to take something like Cortana and make it available in maybe appliances, like you could see microwaves could have Cortana built into them. Oh, that's a little creepy. But it's an interesting move.
I mean, I would rather there was a free software option, because chances are in a license agreement with someone like Microsoft to embed that kind of technology in the phones, it would only be available in the commercially available retail devices. It wouldn't be available for hackers who want to play with, and I would rather there was a free software version. But
that would change if Microsoft were to open source Cortana. That might change the world.
Yeah, that won't happen. Yeah. But if there was an open source project that did it, unfortunately, typically history has shown us that open source projects are not particularly good at things like big data, things like speech recognition, those kind of things. But maybe someone could in the future do that, and use Project Gutenberg or something for their database. I don't know.
You never know. All right, this kind of grinds my gears. Hey, Ange, you know what? Hey, Ange, you know what really grinds my gears?
What?
Oh, hold on. I was actually going to play a sound. I didn't expect you to say it.
Peter
so fast.
Griffin?
You were supposed to make it. You're supposed to have a couple of guesses. And then I was going to say, no, this.
You know what really grinds my gears?
Is what grinds my gears. But you
That's
didn't.
such a great voice.
Yeah, I
Play that
know.
again.
Okay. All right. Okay.
You know what really grinds my gears?
It's so perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So we at Jupiter Broadcasting are customers of the Google Apps product. We have been for quite a while. It just allows us to scale out pretty well. Well, it turns out an epic Google snafu has leaked hidden Whois data for 280,000 Google Apps customers. Phone numbers, things like that since mid-2013.
What the heck?
Yeah. Google leaked the complete hidden Whois data attached to more than 282,000 domains registered through the company's Google Apps for Work service, a breach that could bite the good and bad guys alike.
And that is it's an unintentional leak, right? They would
Yes.
intentionally do that.
Yes,
and
a software defect in Google Apps started leaking the data, including names, phone numbers, physical addresses, email addresses, and more. The bug caused the data to become public online once the domain registration was renewed. Cisco's Thales Security Intelligence and Research Group discovered it on February 19th of this year, slightly
When was
2
it?
years after it first started leaking.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so I guess first you got to know like who uses them, like
Yeah.
or just try to search for. I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, like, what is it
It's-
really such a big deal?
Well, sometimes people have like their technical contact info in there that's like their actual IT person's phone number, and they don't want that out in the public record. Like there can be stuff in there, addresses and stuff. Yeah, but you
people
know,
would have to be looking for it. But
yeah.
Well,
It
that sucks, but
It is one of those things, though. You know, I mean, there was a time where we would have said, "Oh, this proves the cloud will never work." Like there was a time where that
Gosh,
was the
yeah.
discussion, and now it's just like, "Oh yeah, another privacy accident."
yeah, this is what the cloud does.
Yeah, and now we just move on.
It's just people's information out of it.
I didn't really have much to comment on this one, but I know you're a Mac fan,
I am.
and does it creep you out to know that Steve Jobs' office remains untouched at Apple as sort of like a shrine?
No,
That doesn't creep you out?
no.
That creeps me out. He's just a man.
He's just a man.
Yeah, I mean, he's a man.
He was a man. Yes.
So his office is probably a great office, right? I mean, like, shouldn't Tim Cook be moving into that office?
No.
Tim Cook's just going to stay in his podunk?
Or build a new office.
Well, they're
I mean,
building
like,
a whole new building, yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Ain't no thing.
Well, I wonder what will happen at the office that was going to be Steve Jobs' office at the new building, because Steve Jobs helped design that. Anyways, the reason why I bring this up, tell me if this ups the creepy factor for you at all. Tim Cook offered his liver if it would help save Steve Jobs' life. He offered his liver to Steve Jobs.
Wow.
Tim Cook.
Because it was liver cancer.
No.
Oh.
No, it comes out it comes out in a new biography called Becoming Steve Jobs, The Evolution of a Reckless Upstart into a Visionary Leader. In the biography.
Wow. That is a mouthful.
Yeah, right. They got interviews with Tim Cook, Johnny Ive, Eddie Q, Pixar's John Lester, Disney CEO Bob Iger, and Jobs' widow, Lauren Powell Jobs. And it's loaded with interesting tidbits, they say, and anecdotes and insights into the former CEO. Only reason I just called that out is because I mean, offered his liver. And then when he died, the guy that offered the liver became the CEO. That's just I don't know. That's not a head job to you a little bit?
Oh, well, it sounds like there's more information to it because, like, was he not set to become the CEO at the point that he offered his liver? Because that's a different story.
Well, that was always sort of not. I mean, it's not totally their call. The board has to weigh in, but
Oh,
I mean,
yeah,
it was
sure.
sort of a locked-in thing. Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
By the time Steve Jobs started to have to take medical leaves for cancer, Tim Cook was playing the role of interim CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. No, that's cool.
All right, moving on. Like I said, it was just a quick one. Just a quick
Jobs
one.
Cook's liver.
This next story makes me a little sad. And now it's probably just time for the Ubuntu Touch project to start supporting this hardware. The Nexus 5 has
Biggest
been...
phone ever.
No, that's the Nexus 6.
Oh.
The Nexus 5 is my phone.
Oh, okay.
They've stopped selling it. It's end of life.
Okay. I am okay with that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's a good phone. And here's the problem. There is not another Nexus device that isn't gargantuan.
Do you know why they're done selling it?
The only one left is that 6-inch
Do you know why
monster.
Do you know why they're selling it?
Why?
Not selling it. Same reason why Microsoft has Windows 10. Trying to keep up with the numbers. iPhone 5s are becoming obsolete. They're now,
Yeah,
it's
so you
the
think
iPhone 6.
you think maybe the sales have dropped off?
I think that the brand number of the phone makes it end of life. The number 5
You think it could be
specifically.
as piddly as that? Because this
yes,
is a pretty good phone.
Absolutely.
See, the problem is there's not another
it's-
official Google phone that's not gargantuan now.
It's why. Well, they'll probably come out with a 7 that's small like
They
that.
already have. They have a tablet called 7 already. So this is the problem.
Geez, they're running out of numbers.
What's the Android phone to get now? What is the Android phone that's not all crapped up to buy? Does anybody in the mumble room know?
Moto X.
The Moto X2, right?
Yeah, it's essentially as far as hardware goes, it's very much like
The Nexus 6, except
Nexus
for without the
6,
huge
right?
screen. Yeah.
Yeah. So size-wise, I'm very happy with mine. The changes that they made to the operating system aren't, it's not full of bloat. The changes that they
Yeah,
made
I've heard
actually
they're not bad.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're minimal too, right?
Yeah. It feels very close to stock Android, and the changes that they did make, I'm very happy with.
Yeah. I think that's my next phone. So
Somebody
There's
winked at
just,
me.
the price difference because we pay.
yeah.
Well, just because they stopped
Or
selling it doesn't
Moto
mean you
X.
have to stop using it.
I'm sorry, what?
You turd.
That logic doesn't
I
hold
know
up.
it. I know.
Hey, before we run, one more thing. You guys know we're trying hard to raise some funds for our coverage at Linux Fest Northwest at the end of April up in Bellingham, Washington. So we are selling a Linux Action Show shirt, hoodie, long sleeve, kids shirt, a
And
ladies
women's,
tee.
yep.
And listen, you go to teespring.com/Linux to get it. We've sold 86. We got to get to 150 to at least sell. That's probably not going to really fund much. So feel free to grab a 2 perhaps or something. Seriously.
Well,
because,
yeah, I did make the T-shirt cheap just so that you guys could get it
Well, here's what I'm thinking too. And we've only sold 86.
easily. Yeah.
So we haven't even unlocked it yet. This is probably our last shirt until maybe the end of summer. You think?
No, I'm pretty sure I'm going to be coming out with a polo.
Okay. All right.
in a
polo.
month or
It's
two,
it
but-
seems- I'm a little like,
I know.
Yeah. And I think maybe we've just overdone it.
No,
It happens. People say they want swag and then you do it and they don't get it.
well, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But
We'll
no,
see.
this will be cool. We really
Yeah. It's
we
great.
are a huge presence at Linux Fest Northwest, and
We're actually just about to have a call with them.
a lot of people will be wearing our shirts.
Yeah, last
And
year it was a huge success. It was a sea of Jupiter Broadcasting, that's
Yeah.
for sure. And I've mentioned it before on the other shows, but this logo looks so great in black and white. And one
it
of the
does
things, and
because it was in color last year,
Well,
so we couldn't
yeah.
offer it on darks because
Right.
it had.
this is a different shirt. This is
Yep.
a 2015 edition. And the other thing that we did, and you know this because you were intimately involved, obviously, this logo. When we designed this logo, we specifically designed it within the requirements to make sure when it prints on a shirt, it looks damn good. Like that was part of the design of the logo. We designed it to look good on shirts, so we love doing this. Go over to teespring.com/Linux, grab yourself 1 or 2, either kind, and help support our efforts to go to Linux Fest Northwest. They should ship with plenty of time for the fest.
Yep.
You can either rock it at home while you're watching the coverage or show up, or maybe at a future event. You can see us there. Teespring.com/Linux. Also, a huge thank you to all our patrons who are also help funding that effort. That is also a great way to contribute not only to Linux Fest Northwest, but additional future fest as well. That ongoing revenue helps us buy equipment in between the fest, helps us make planning and do things like planning sessions where we actually meet up with people, and it's really great. Patreon.com/today to help fund all the current efforts and future efforts and also projects we're working on in the background.
Yep. And the other thing is, yes, we've had quite a few campaigns recently, but that is because not everybody, wants to support just last. Some
Yeah,
people
that's
want
it.
to support
Yep.
Jupiter Broadcasting, so they buy that logo. We're offering different things so that everybody can be included and they don't have to be forced into buying, maybe they think this logo is
Yeah,
way
I
too
like
big
that.
for the shirt.
I think that's nice.
Yeah. So we're not trying to get money any way we can. We're trying to let everybody support Jupiter Broadcasting how they want to.
Yeah, exactly. And that does, and the thing is so that's why we're also like, in the past we've done these limits. Like, so right now the limit for the Linux Action Show shirt at teespring.com/Linux, like when we did the last one, what was the limit? Like 700?
Oh, yeah. It was 754 and
Yeah.
we sold 1,200.
Yeah, and so this one we set the limit to 150 because we know we've been running more.
Yeah.
And we're not trying to make a ton of money off it. We just really, essentially, if you think about what our upcoming cost is, we're going to have to fly 3 or 4 or 5 people out. What's that, $1,000 to $2,000 a person for a round trip plus the hotel room? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Now, how the hell do I afford that without either? I mean, I might, even with this funding, I think I'm still going to have to consider trying to sponsor this.
Yeah, maybe.
Because, yeah, I mean, this would have to probably be doing a lot better. Anyways, that's our problem. But that's you get a little behind the scenes on Tech Talk today. That's another reason we do this show is because it gives you a little behind the scenes info on how we work. Anyways, that wraps it up for this week's of Tech Talk Today. We'll be back on Tuesday next week, starting at 9 a.m. Pacific, noon Eastern at jblive.tv. Help us make the show awesome throughout the week and throughout the weekend over at techtalktoday.reddit.com. That's a great place to get involved.
It is.
Anything else we need to talk about, Andrews? Is that it? Linux
well-
Action Show on Sunday, I believe, is going to have some pretty cool ham stuff in it.
We'll have a health update for you next Friday.
Oh, yes. 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 Yeah, because well, I'm not sure if I'm going to do them on Fridays or Thursdays, but yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We'll talk about that off air, too.
Yep.
Because, I didn't get a chance since I took an episode off this week.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's changed.
Okay.
Yeah, all right. So this week we've been running some classic watch commercials because I like to look at the old watch trends and see what people used to get excited about. Hey, Mumble Room, thanks for being here today, guys. Thanks, everybody out there, for watching live. Last chance to title this thing, and here we go. We'll see you on Tuesday.
From the depths of space, from the edge of the Earth, Timex takes quartz to make a watch beyond time as we know it. The Timex Quartz. Quartz for every woman, in the newest elegance. So accurate, you may have to reset it only once this year. Thin, sleek, beautiful. The Timex Quartz. Built and priced in the Timex tradition.